Every year, the Irish Government publish IPAS Centre Inspection Reports to, in their words, examine the quality of the service being provided to international protection applicants. From the language used, you would nearly think they are talking about tourism. On a weekly basis, the Irish Government also publish IPAS accommodation and arrival statistics, noting that the latest report was published on the 11th of August 2025 and confirms that in the week ending the 3rd of August 2025, 49% of arrivals were single males, while only 11% were single females, with the highest numbers of arrivals coming from countries such as Nigeria, Somalia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Georgia. Now, this weekly report also publishes a summary position on the number of IPAS accommodation centres spread across the country and includes the following: 50 dedicated IPAS accommodation centres housing nearly 6,500 people, 267 emergency accommodation centres housing more than 25,000 people, one national reception centre housing nearly 300 people, one City West transit hub housing nearly 400 people, and 3 centres of tented accommodation housing more than 400 people. This brings the total current number of international protection applicants being housed at the expense of the taxpayer to almost 33,000 people. Now back to the inspection reports. On the 11th of August 2025, the Irish Government published inspection reports for some of the IPAS accommodation centres spread across the country. The reason these inspection reports are interesting is because they give us an insight into both the type and the number of properties being used to house IPAS applicants, along with the number of occupants and whether the occupants are families or single males, etc. On the screen, you can see a breakdown of accommodation inspections by county, noting that reports for all counties have not yet been published. In particular, Dublin has not been published. It's also worth noting that the list of accommodation centres per county is not an exhaustive list of all accommodation used to house IPAS applicants. And I know this because many well-known accommodation centres, such as Brafey House in Mayo, are not listed. So these lists are wholly incomplete. That said, the following is noteworthy from the inspection reports. 1. The majority of accommodation centres are run by private companies for profit. 2. In the case of Carlow, the state has commandeered 1 apartment and 30 homes to house economic migrants, while on daft.ie there are literally only 14 properties to rent in Carlow. Also, in the case of Carlow, in one facility where there are 43 people housed, they have 7 full-time staff to cater to their needs, whereas in another facility where there are 79 people housed, they have 10 full-time staff. 3. In the case of Cork, the state has commandeered an unspecified number of apartments to house up to 231 people. 4. In the case of Clare, in one facility alone where there are 82 people housed, they have 12 full-time staff. 5. In Donegal, they have listed 9 accommodation centres, 5 of which include blocks of apartment, such as Convoy Town Parks housing 179 people, Oatlands House housing 15 people, Port Road housing 276 people, Sprackburn House housing 60 people, and West Side Apartments housing 398 people. So in total, there are up to 928 people housed in apartments across Donegal, while daft.ie states that there are a total of 19 properties to rent across Donegal. 6. In Galway, they have listed 8 accommodation centres, with 1 centre alone, Ballybrit Accommodation Centre, having 26 full-time staff assigned to it, while the state have also commandeered apartments in Dominic Street to house 124 people. 7. In Kildare, they have listed 6 accommodation centres, including Wellgrove Apartments, which is housing 4 single males. 8. In Meath, they have listed 5 accommodation centres, housing a total of 1,070 people, noting that up to 792 of these people are located in apartments in the following locations: College Land Forge, Mosney Holiday Centre, housing 726 people, and the Lodge, where 44 people are located. 9. In Monaghan, there are 350 people located in apartments at St. Patrick's. 10. In Sligo, they have listed 3 accommodation centres, 2 of which are apartment housing 107 people and 48 people respectively. 11. In Waterford, the Lismore House Hotel is housing 114 single females. And 12. In Westmeath, there are 3 accommodation centres listed, all apartments housing a total of 388 people. In conclusion, the government confirms that we are currently housing 33,000 IPAS applicants across all counties and across different property types, from hotels to apartments to B&Bs to accommodation centres and so on. The inspection reports published by the Irish government on the 11th of August 2025 only includes for the housing of 8,500 IPAS applicants. But out of these 8,500 applicants, nearly 3,500 are housed in apartment type accommodation, meaning that close to half are housed in apartments, or as they are referred to in their reports as independent living facilities with own doors, e.g. apartments. I am just giving this definition for clarification. So if we were to use the current inspection reports as a guide, we could summarise that out of the 33,000 IPAS applicants, at least 15,000 are going to be housed in apartments. Now, this number is significant because Ireland's current homeless epidemic reached 15,000 people in May of 2025. Essentially, if our elected representatives in Dáil Éireann were to focus on national welfare instead of global welfare, many of the problems we face in this country would either be solved or significantly diminished. That said, the evidence is very clear. An open borders welfare state is catastrophic for the health of our nation. But an open border welfare state during a crisis of scarcity is national suicide.